Hey guys, Joe from Joe Shrimp Shack here. Today I'm going to be remineralizing at my new store. The 20-gallon long Neo tanks. I am using the Shrimp King. Let's see right here. There we go. Shrimp King GHKH salt. To kind of show you how I do it. Get all my stuff right here. Got my TDS meter. I got my open bottle of GHKH. I like to make a slurry, so I'm going to show you how to use more of this. Set that right there. There we go. All right, so what I end up doing is I take a bunch of the GHKH right here. I'm just going to make a slurry. So I got a lot of tanks to do. This is how we do it at the shows where we make a giant slurry and then we just kind of remineralize. So I got my two little turkey baster. We add some RO to it. See, I'm just adding RO to it. There we go. If I make a slurry, it goes a lot faster. I kind of learned this through the international shrimp contest show. It works a lot better if I just make a slurry. Kind of mix it around. Nice and concentrated. How's everybody doing today? Y'all can ask me questions too, and I can answer them. Keep my phone's right here, so I'm recording off my phone. How's the audio right here? Is air pump too loud? Shut this water off. Let me know how the audio is. So today we're streaming on Facebook on the Joe Shrimp Shack page, YouTube, and we're also streaming on Twitch. It's nice and mixed up. All right, so these are my Neo tanks. I got 9 Neo tanks here, and then if I turn the camera, let me see if I can get this turned. There's the other ones right there. There's no lights on that one. I'm going to put more lights on this one, but let's do one thing at a time. All right, so the key number I'm going for is 220 to 300. That's what I like to keep my Neos at, and that's what I kind of train or educate my my customers to do. So I have my trusty little TDS meter, total dissolved solids. That's what it reads. I'm trying to go for 220 to 300. So let's go to the first tank right here. I put bacteria. So I already put bacteria in the tank. So what I use for the bacteria in my tank is I use the protobio bacteria startup, and I use the bacteria. That's what the vials are in my tank. People always ask me. So how I do it is I make a slurry, and I try and get it up to 220 to 300. So let me just get some fresh stuff in here. Give it one full squirt. We'll see what one full squirt brings it up to. So with the bacteria was at 24. So I kind of measured it ahead of time. So the tanks are at 24. So if I'm trying to achieve the 220, I'm going to actually set it at 250. And that works well. So as you see, the bacteria goes in, or the mineralizer goes in there. It's kind of foggy, which is completely fine. It's going to take a lot when you first set up to get it up to your number. And then after you do your water changes, it's not going to take as much. So I got my air pumps. Let me turn my air pumps on high. There we go. That'll get it going, circulating a little faster. But today is Sunday. Hopefully, I want to try and get this store rocking and rolling before the end of the month for a soft open. It's going up slowly, so I already know it's going to be 2. So I'm going to add 2 to my other tanks just to get it going. So at the international show, we end up doing like 100 and some tanks. So I kind of do the same thing. I add just basically a base amount. And then off the base amount, I can get it closer and closer to the number that I want. So if I know that 2 full squirts get it set up to 76 right now, this is the bacteria, so it's at 50, I'm going to have to add more. I'm going to go over and still add a base number to all my tanks. We get a kind of symmetrical or consistent of a certain number. Yeah, I'm getting closer and closer to opening up the store, and I can't wait to show you guys of how it looks and everything. So I really like using the Dennerle Shrimp King remineralizers. They also have the B salt for just the GH. Now I use powder in my larger tanks, and I use liquid in my smaller tanks. It's an easy thing. Now when I say small tanks, I literally have 2.5 gallon tanks that I like using the liquids on, which I will show that at a different time. So that's 2 squirts in every single tank. Let's check what the what the TDS is. See, it's going up to 112. Keep in mind we have minus 25 off there, so it still has a way to go up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these other Neo tanks over here. All kind of, let me turn the camera right here. There we go. Let me get these other ones rocking and rolling too. So I'm going to have 18 Neo tanks, and I have the Carradina tanks on this side, which they're not set up yet. So, all right, so that's completely demolished. So I have to make some more. Slowly but surely, it's almost like the work is never done here. All right. There's a brand new box, GHKH. Cracker open. Add a bunch to it. Everybody says, measure it out, put it in your water ahead of time. I don't do that. I'll explain why as I mix this. Let me just add some water first. So I never pre-mix water, and this is why. If I go over and it's kind of fuzzing over right now. If I go over and have a tank that's not at the proper number, what happens is when you remineralize your water ahead of time, and you try and get your water set to the TDS that you want or the GHK, it's harder to do that because you pre-mixed it. So what I'm getting at is like, let me just clean this up a little bit. First little spill. All right, so if you have a tank that water evaporated out, let me quote somebody's Carradina tanks. Perfect. So like these tanks right here. So if water evaporated out, the TDS goes up, which means my GH in this tank goes up because as water evaporates out, the mineral stays in the tank. Just the water evaporated out. So what happens is if you pre-mix your water ahead of time, what happens is when you put the water back in, the tank is already screwed up for the consistency of how much water is in there. That's what works for me. Other people do it a different way. This is how I do it. Everybody does some things. Hey, Scotty. Hi, Brian. Yeah, it'll be nice when it's all done. I just gotta I have a little bit of OCD and I kind of set stuff down and then I forget where I put stuff because I don't have my normal spot yet. So it's just a matter of like I need to get a routine and do my routine. All right. So I kind of mix this around and get the other 2 scoops in all these other tanks over here. So I have 2 scoops in all these tanks. So yeah, it's just I hate having. So I figured it out yesterday with a friend of mine. Is when I was brought up, my stepmom always had a spot for things, and it's not a wrong thing. Okay, that's the way that she was. When I got off school, my clothes got washed right away. My toys had to go in a certain spot, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so what happened is I learned to do the same thing, and now that's how I kind of work. Is like everything has a certain spot. Now it may not make sense to you where it is, but it makes sense to me, and that's what kind of matters because it's my store. So if I know where all my stuff is, and I say, hey, later on, this is where it's at, and it's happened quite a few times where I say, hey, go get this. They said, where is it? I said, it's over here. And they're like, well, it's not there. I'm like, well, then it got moved. And that's what happened. So hold on a second, trying to get all my numbers right. The 2 scoops. This one had a little bit extra powder in it, I think. So I'll be checking these over here and doing each individual tank piece by piece. Get the last ones here. Now I thought about, I wanted to open up at the end of the month, which I'm gonna probably end up doing. The problem is like Minnesota, we have the Minnesota State Fair. So when you have a state fair, it kind of campers on freaking me opening up and everything, but it's okay. It's okay. Slowly but surely, that's all that matters. Let me turn this back so I can get these tanks over here. Move it over here. Boom. Oh, it's crooked. Hold on, I gotta fix the crookedness. Fix the crookedness. I'm using that little ring light and everything. I got a little level on here. There we go. It says straight for me. So, all right, let's go back to the main one that I was doing. So it's had some time to mix. It's right now going 113, 114. So let me just add another. In theory, another scoop. Add all these, another one over here too. 113, the number's too far off. We get close to 220. So what's good, I do believe, and I can be corrected if I'm wrong on this one, I do believe the Shrimp King Bee Salt is good for 250 gallons. Let's look at the container here. I do believe it's good for 250 gallons. Let's see. Keb's with the scoop in there too. Let's see here. English. It's neutral. I think it does roughly 270. That's a DH. Sorry. Yeah, it doesn't really say, but I think when I measured it out, it was 250 gallons that this dry container can end up doing and stuff. So again, I'm just going to go over and make another slurry. Since I have a lot of tanks here. Hey, Scotty. Add some water. So it does go kind of active if you look at it. With the RO water, it's pretty cool. It starts bubbling up and stuff. It's not going to explode. I'm going to mix it up while I'm in here and add more water. Yeah, I've been here every single day. Let me back up a little bit so you guys can see. I've been here every day pretty late, trying to get the store in order. So, trying to get it all a specific way. All right. Let me add some to the other tanks here. So that's basically 3 scoops in every tank when I'm done. Tanks up here. And I can always dial it in later on. I want to get the majority of it right now. I did use seeded filters in my tanks. So I would like to go over and get some test shrimp in here and make sure that it's up and running properly. We'll find out after this third scoop or third squirt where it's sitting at. So I am doing over the container's worth, so we'll see. All right, that's 3 slurry scoops that I end up using with a trusty little TDS meter. We're shooting at 174, 169. Let's check these over here. He's got a mix still 184. So we're all roughly in the same rough, rough. Oops. Time out here. Hold on. There we go. Perfect. I'm back. Notifications are going off. All right. So it's roughly about 175 minus the 25 for the bacteria that's in here. So we're roughly about 150. So I'm still short. So I need to go over and add more. And this usually puts it like a pH of 7.2, 7.5. So what happens, and I try to let people know, when you go over and you allow water to evaporate in your tank, and you just keep on topping off with tap water, what happens is you're adding more minerals. So when you add more minerals, what's going to happen is your tank is going to get harder and harder and harder. And all of a sudden you're going to be up to 8.2, and you're like, Joe, why is my tank at 8.2? I don't know what happened. It's because water evaporated out, and you topped it off with tap water. That's why I always like using RO water. You deplete what's in your tank. So that's what a lot of people don't realize is that the city where my store's at is Plymouth. They dose with chloramine in the water. Okay? Chloramine binds with ammonia and it will bypass the RO de-icing, so you have to get a chloramine filter, which I tell people if you use an RO filter, just pay the extra $2 more and get the chloramine filter. It's not that much work. And then what happens is it can bind with it and have ammonia in your tank. So one second, let me go get some more. Let me get some more of my Reminerlizer. 1 second, I'm going to dump the camera over. Stuff in my white. There. I got another container of it. All right, let's make some more. Another half a bottle. I think a half a bottle should do it. We will find out. Got my little RO water. Let it kind of bubble and foam. This one's not bubbling and foaming, so there it goes. How's everybody's Sunday going otherwise? Ooh, this one is a bit bubbling. Woo. Bubbling. I'm catching it all. Just froth. I added too much water too fast. Don't try this at home, kids. Let me get another rig. There we go. Got a bigger rig. So I do believe what happens is when you make a giant slurry like this and you do large amounts, it's too much. It's a chemical reaction with trying to go over and freaking break down the water into the proper consistency. There we go. Now it's done frothing. Now I remember the first time I did this and I put it in a bottle, like a little squirt bottle. I thought it was kind of funny. I put it in a squirt bottle and I put the top on. I started squirting it. And it started frothing out the top. So I just added too much water too fast. There we go. Now we're back. We're shake and bake. My TDS meter. Hey, Brandon. Let me see where this one was at. We need at 250. It's at 212. So let me just see where all my stuff is at. Let's see where I left off. About around 200 on all these. 162. All right, so I didn't get the bottom ones. That was not enough. All right. Let me get these over here. Jump the cycle. I want my needles ready. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm gonna get some accent lights, I think, in here. I have the my light on. Let me shut off the main light. The only thing I want like lit up in this room is just the tanks by the tank lights. But for the video, I turned it on, so let me kind of show you how it's gonna look. Minus the. I'm gonna get some more lights over here. Ooh, it's gonna be nice, nice like that. Papa Shrimp, I'm driving. On my way to the shop by lurking and listening. Awesome. Hey, Papa Shrimp. I do that a lot. I do a lot of lurking on mine as well. Don't mind me. So it's at 215, so I'm trying to go 250. If you guys just got in there with the bacteria I put in there, it ended up being 25. So I'm trying to go for 220 to 300 is my key number. So if we put it at 250 minus the 25 ends up being 225, which is good enough. Good enough for my shrimpies. All right, so 215 and put a little bit more there, kind of come back, do a little bit more. It's all about fine tuning. Let it kind of go for 15, 20 minutes and then go over and just, if I have to, I can just put a little bit more in. I like this turkey. I had my friend Jared went over and got me this little turkey baster type thing for sucking up food. Well, it didn't really work good for food, so it works good for this though. And I use this a lot. Let me just get these last tapes. And I have a little bit left over to fine tune it. So that's about right, about 1.5, 1 3/4. All right, we'll let this kind of mix around. All right, so what I used in here is I have black diamond blasting sand. I put a couple pieces of choil wood. I put a seeded filter in there, and then I used the bacteria I used, which I had it here. I used the protobiobacteria. So what I did is I put the blasting sand in. I rinsed the blasting sand for about 45 minutes underneath my sink, put a hose in there, kind of flush out all the little grime. Why you do that is there's a little chemical on there and some powder. It kind of washes off. Otherwise, your tank gets super cloudy. So I put that in there, put about 2 inches of RO water in there, put the bacteria in there, let it kind of sit for about a half hour, filled it up with the rest of the way for RO water. The RO system I use is the bulk reef ones. They sponsored me it. I'm going to have to upgrade it. I'm already at the 200 gallons per hour or per day. The 5-stage, I'm actually going to add 2 more stages. I'm going to make it a 7-stage because we have a lot of chloramine. I just noticed with the nastiness of water that comes into this building here, I need more DI cartridges. So I'm going to use the Pro 3 series, which is the cation, anion, and the mixed bed. So what's really nice, I do believe that the cation is going to drop the pH down, and the anion is going to use like 3 to 1 for the cation. And then the mixed bed is going to just do like the fine, like a fine washing on it to go over and get all the final chemicals out. My TDS was roughly coming out 1 to 2, which I wanted at 0. So as you see, so then I put that in there, and then I put the startup vials in there. It's one set of vials per 15 gallons. I have them on my website as well. It's under the Protobio on that. So now I kind of let it go for about a week with the seeded filter. Now I just want to get the mineralizer up to date. So we're at 230, so not bad. I can just fine tune it a little bit. You know, 238, put a little more in there. 124, wait, I'm missing this whole squirt of this one. Let's add a little more. 162, put a little more in there. 204, put a little more. Now I'm going to cut some There we go. Sorry, guys. Someone was calling in. They're going to probably do that a few times. It just happens. You know, everybody comes to my store, wanting to come in. It's not open yet. A little more there. A little more there. Going to add some more water in that one. That tank full. Let's go to the next ones over here. Let me turn the camera. There we go. Yeah, I gotta get lights. I gotta get lights ordered for these. So 248, 234, put a little more in that one. 268, 258, 268, 216, and a little more. Stop moving my butt. 270, 250, and it'll creep up overnight. 238, and a little bit more. 217, and a little bit more. There. Turn back. There we go. So yeah, just getting this all kind of fine-tuned. 250, so it's at 220 basically. 240, just add a little squirt more. We'll fill up all these tanks. Make sure all the water's full on it, and then test for ammonia coming up. I know a season filter makes it go a lot faster. So 226. The lights hurt my eyes. $187. Fill, baby, fill this. I'm gonna use just some right amount. I love it. And then I'm gonna do probably for my members only. I do have a membership on the YouTube page. I'm gonna probably do a members only video of the store, kind of like the sneak peek of it's all going and stuff, to make you all happy and everything else. So if you're not a member, become a member. It's a great opportunity to get the extra discounts on my website. I am shipping still as well. Just currently right now, I'm a couple days behind on shipping just because I'm trying to get the tanks set up. That's the biggest thing, is trying to get my tanks all up and running. So that one's almost full. It's a beautiful day. It was like 70 degrees when I came in here. My nose itches. Hey, Yellowstone, how you doing? Yeah, I've been missing a few of my live streams, which I apologize for. I just been a lot of appointments with different companies. Now I try to get lights sponsored for this room, and I talked to the company that I sell their products, not who I wholesale through, just I sell their lights in my store here. And he went to his higher ups, and they kind of said, hey, with everything that's going on, they don't want to sponsor the lights. I'm like, well, can I get a better discount? And they said, no, they can't do it. So now I have to make a decision where, I've been selling their products, a lot of their products. And the thing is, I don't ask that much. And I looked at how much it would take for me to finish up this room in here, and it wasn't that much money. It was $1,200 wholesale, which probably that's only like $650, $700 what they have to pay for the product to get in. And they wanted to sponsor me lights. This is more money I got to come out of my pocket. So I just got decided if this company is good for me, for a fit for I'm not trying to take everything from people, but I've been going for 3 years now at my store, and I sell a lot of their products, and I've never asked anything free of them. And then building a store costs a lot of money. So I just wanted to get a few lights sponsored. These are all from my personal stock, because otherwise I have to spend another $1,200 just to stock my tanks. So it's tough, guys. Luckily, the tanks that I'm doing for the aquascape are super cool, and JBJ is sponsoring a lot of the tanks that I'm going to have. I'm going to have a nice wall with them. And then what they get off that one is you'll see the wall in the private video and stuff. So, I'm cleaning up my container here. So, wipe it down. Wipe her down! So, you'll see, like, when I put more lights up here of how I like the look of it. As you see, I just want the room lit by the tanks. I don't want, like, extra lights in here. Kind of looks kind of nice when it's just kind of, like, dark by the tanks. I just need to go over and make it consistent. I got to figure out my Carradina side, how I want my Carradinas to look. So, I'm pretty well wiped out. Perfect. But yeah, guys, that's what I was doing today, is getting some remineralizer put in the tank. So if you guys didn't see, it's the Shrimp King. Got too much light. I got the ring light right there. The Shrimp King salt right here, the GHKH, because these are my Neo tanks. So I'm going to have the 18 different varieties of Neos, all in bigger tanks, so I can go back to my whole entire breeding. In the back, which you have to become a member, have a little VIP section back there that has more breeding tanks back there. So yeah, if you haven't become a member, there's a link to become a member and stuff. I have 3 tiers of membership on here. It gives you different discounts. When you decide, the higher discount is of course the $19.99 a month. Gets you, I think it's like 15 or 20% off. When you order online, which makes sense when you're going to buy a tank and lights and everything else like that. It gets it all up and running. So it looks like today, this is pretty much all I'm going to be able to do today. That can't be full, so back up. I have to get a saw and cut the polycarbonate tops and get some more lights and everything else, but that's what's going on. You got me busy today. So otherwise, I'm just like fine-tuning everything in the store. So otherwise, guys, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a shrimptastic day. You guys have a good one. All right, guys? Bye.